Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Discover New Music podcast, where shortly I'm going to get to chat with Our Nameless Boy ahead of the release of their new EP, Thorns, next month. But before then, it is the usual reminders from myself. If you would, please do follow Full Pelt on social media. We're on Facebook at Full Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Full Pelt Music. And again, if you would, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, wherever you're watching or listening. But that's enough of that. Let's get on with the interview. Let's go. Welcome to Our Nameless Boy, to the Discover New Music podcast. We've got Chris and Iain from the band with us today. Absolutely delighted to have you on at such an important time for the band, just ahead of the release
Thank
of
you.
your new EP, Thorns. So really
Thank you.
excited to talk to you about that. It's the Discover New Music podcast. We've got two podcasts, and this podcast always starts the same way. It's hopefully for people to discover some new music. So as a bit of an icebreaker for people listening that might not be familiar with the band, we always start out with something called the origin story. Sounds very
Okay.
grandiose, but it's not. Yeah, it's literally what is the backstory for Our Nameless Boy? How did you come together and get to this point?
Will, the drummer, and I, we've known each other for a long time, like uni days, which was a long time ago. Uh, and we started a more like indie pop band with another friend of ours, Richie. That lasted for a few years, and whilst we were finishing an album as that band, I just started writing a bunch of sketches that were a bit more ONB-ish, I guess. And we just ended up morphing into that band, really. Um, and then later on, life happened. Richie and Leo sort of left, and we've now obviously got the lovely Chris here, and you, hello, uh,
Hi.
and Ewan, who's just great guitarist, great dude. So that's kind of the lineup that we are now. Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything to that. As the
No, I think you've summed it up. Me and Ewan joined late, but now it's the best.
I love it.
I didn't tell the others, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure they won't get to hear, so it'll be fine. It'll be all good. It's all good. It's not like we're recording it or anything. You're safe. But
Uh,
now we're all caught up. Obviously, but that brings us to the now. So listeners to the podcast today, I'm going to talk about a few of the songs from the EP that are already out, to whet your appetite. But obviously. The main message from me today for the listeners will be you got to check out this EP. Stunning piece of work. So really excited to talk to you about it. Um,
Thank you.
so the
Thank you.
first track we're going to talk about is the most recent that we've featured on our Discover New Music playlist, the accompanying playlist of the podcast, and that is Not in My Name. So simple question to start us off with the sort of run through of songs. So what can you tell us about that song?
Okay, so simple question that I'm definitely going to overthink. Um, like sonically, it's pretty quintessentially us.
Mm.
So pretty decently dynamic, fairly kind of subdued, quieter verses and big loud choruses and even bigger, louder, you know, other sections. Um, and also kind of weird time signatures, but they kind of go unnoticed. Like it all kind of flows, I think. I think that, yeah. So in that sense,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I like to think it's sort of quintessentially us. I guess different compared to sort of older stuff. At the moment, obviously the newer lineup and the fact that we're really kind of bedding in a writing perspective and lyrically it's a bit more outwardly focused than previous stuff. So yeah, kind of an imagined perspective of and also a kind of a slating of should we say people in power or have the power to do good things about bad situations, but kind of choose to forego that in favor of just kind of making themselves look good. hence the not in my name sort of, not actually really saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder who you could be referring to.
It doesn't take much to work it out, I think.
Oh, yeah. I
Probably
mean,
a few names as well.
Well, sadly, yeah, probably quite a few names at the moment.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you asked that question about this song. There's another song in the EP that you could even more easily answer that question, I think, if you took a minute to think about it.
Would that be Little Bird by any chance?
Yeah, it would. It would. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, we'll jump to Little Bird as well, obviously, because it sort of does fit in well with what we're talking about. Obviously, that track has come out, I believe, today.
Yeah.
As we're talking. So obviously, listeners, it's out. Go and check it out wherever you check out your music. Absolutely. I've just been enjoying the video for it a moment ago.
Is that out? I didn't even
I put it out this morning.
Nice.
First thing this morning. It took a very long time.
Did it?
Yes.
I can imagine the editing on that. Yeah. Painstaking.
Yeah. Iain came up with this great idea, and then it's on me to edit it all together.
Yeah, baby.
I think I spent.
Thanks, Chris.
It was all quite last minute because like we sort of had. I was ill and then away, and so we sort of filmed everything in the last like week or so. So I think Saturday I spent, was it 10 hours straight putting it together, and then another like 3 or 4 hours on Sunday as well, just to get it finished. And then it's like there's no chance of any edits or anything. This is what you're getting. Take it or leave it.
Well, yeah, for what it's worth, I really enjoyed it, Chris. So hopefully that makes those 10 hours worth it.
It was really nice for me because a lot of the videos, obviously it's meant to be like a social media vibe sort of thing, like you're flicking through TikTok or whatever, but a lot of the videos are sort of our friends, and like there's lots of videos of like me with some friends like on holiday, and just lots of sort of I don't know, just lots of friends and like good memories and things like that. So although the sort of topic isn't necessarily happy, it's like it's quite nostalgic for me because I'm just seeing like, and I've got like some of my old pets that have all died now that are in there as well. So just shed a tear, but it's quite nice.
Oh yeah,
it definitely makes you feel things, doesn't it? I mean, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what obviously music for me is all about, is making you feel things. And I was just going to touch on. I mean, you talked about the pets. So it was the cat drinking out of the water.
Oh, that is our friends in Bitter Kisses. Is their the Gemma and Josh's cat. So she sent me a load of videos, and that one I was like, that's going straight in there.
Absolutely. No, Bitter Kisses, another great band actually we've had on this podcast.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's a nice little connection there. And I just
good friends of ours.
Yeah, fantastic band. I've got 2 cats now, you see, so that just instantly stuck with me. I'm like,
yeah,
I know that too well.
Yeah.
But obviously, so with the tracks, as you touched on, Iain, yourself, they are much more sort of outward thinking, looking at the state of the world, and sort of obviously your kind of take on where we are. Much much more than obviously your debut album, obviously Colour from the Dubs was a very personal record. So obviously this is a change, a new era really with the band, unleashing the songs from this EP. And with that, I just wanted to ask one of my favourite questions to ask, because I'm quite a boring guy, as we'll figure out during this podcast, and it's just something that does fascinate me, the sort of decision making that goes on behind the scenes. So the first track that you put out from Thorns is 38. And the question here is, out of all the tracks on the EP, what stood out about 38 to make it that initial statement for this new sort of era of the band?
Great question, and certainly not boring at all. Go on, Chris.
I mean, my thought was just that's probably the first one we wrote from the EP. That or Thorns were sort of around the same sort of time, but 38 was just like it hit, and we were playing it live, and everyone's like, when are you going to release this? So it was just like, as soon as we could, we basically wanted to release it. But obviously it's also very topical, sadly more topical when it actually came out than we imagined. Obviously we made a video with sort of a fake sort of ICE people arresting people, and it was about 2 days after lots of stuff going on in America. So, like I said, it was sadly more relatable than we had hoped in a way.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was part of your thought, Ian, wasn't it? That you just want it out as soon as possible while it's still relevant.
Yeah, like just lyrically, I was desperate to put this song out. It's not a kind of conventional, verse, chorus, hooky kind of song. But as Chris kind of alluded to, there was something that was really working about it live. That it was part of what the reason I was desperate to put it out. But I think an even bigger part is the fact that like I started writing those lyrics when the invasion of Ukraine happened, and and obviously since then, just more and more stuff has happened that has made me realize that those anxieties that I think I was putting across in this song are shared quite broadly. So yeah, I was desperate to put that one out, just hoping it would connect with somebody.
Yeah, and talking about it live as well, I think the very first time we played it live was that 1865 in Southampton, wasn't it? We played it for the
Might
first
have been,
time
yeah.
1865 in Southampton, touring with the Linkin Park Experience, and I remember someone, I think, replied to it on our story, and we're just like, what is this song? I need it in my life now. And we're like, this is the first time we played it. Like, we've not even booked recording time yet. I wonder if that person's actually listened to it or paid any attention to us since.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
nah.
no, probably not.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's a great response to get. That's fantastic
Mm,
for yourselves.
Yeah.
You play a song, for the first time, and you get like a response like that. And I guess, a lot of that probably does come with songs that are relatable, either from a very
mm,
personal sense of I understand what this song is about. I've gone through it myself, or the wider context of these songs where the source material to write songs such as this is not scarce these days, sadly. There's
yeah,
plenty
yeah.
to write about, and with that, I mean, I haven't spoken about it on the podcast for a while. I think I used to talk about try to avoid this ever becoming a politics podcast, but in the
Mm,
past I have I had quite a few bands on that politics has been at the heart of the songs, and for me, I I'm someone that loves that. I'm not one of these people that's going to go, oh, stick to the music, man. Why are you talking about
mm.
politics? I think if you've got a platform, if you've got a voice, and you've got an opportunity to be heard to talk about things that are important to you, you absolutely should be doing that. And obviously, I'm guessing with the subject matter of these songs that you feel the same way.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, like what you just said there is something that has sort of rattled around in my head quite a lot recently. And it's also it is a lot of that. It is also a lot of just me trying to I write songs to process things because I struggle to do that to a point where I can vocalize these things rather than just kind of, oh, I feel something, uh, but I can't say what that is. I don't feel like I can put that across. So it's my attempts to do that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at least I'm trying.
Yeah, no, I mean I can understand that completely personally as well, and yeah, appreciate having artists such as yourselves that are willing to do that certainly because I know a lot of bands these days shy away from talking about such subjects because they don't want to have it impact their career, really,
Mm.
because obviously the world is now pretty much split into different sections, and obviously if you want to be successful, you feel like you need to appeal to absolutely everyone and not offend anyone whatsoever. And obviously, for me, that just makes such bland music. I want music that, again, I can feel, be that,
Mm.
on a personal sort of level or obviously, yeah, the wider context of this. So, yeah, no, kudos to yourselves for what you're doing, and listeners absolutely need to check that out. And something else that they need to check out is again, I say I'm boring. I mean, we're going to cover a couple of topics here coming up where I'm going to sound a proper geek. Uh,
Excellent. Is one of them Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Wait, what?
What makes you say that?
So I listened to the All Ears of Al one.
Oh, well, funnily enough, I
And
mean, it is
yeah.
not, but I am literally wearing a t-shirt for the bronze from Buffy the Vampire
Oh,
Slayer.
I love that. Oh, I'm going straight on the internet and getting one of those. I've got several Buffy t-shirts, but I've not got
I
a
love
bronze
it.
one. Amazing.
Okay, at the risk
Chris's
of
other band. You've covered the theme tune before, haven't you?
Yeah, and the
Really?
other band we cover it on all the shows, and we played with All Ears of Vow, and it's always like, Claire, this is for you.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Buffy. Really, really am.
Hell
Just
yeah.
like grew up with it, and it's fantastic. And I mean, we'll go slightly off piece then. That wasn't where I was going, but
Sorry, yeah, diverted there.
just quickly
Yeah.
with it. Then, are you excited for the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer? How do you feel about it?
Tentatively excited. What about you, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, Sarah Michelle Gellar is in and is very excited about it, which makes me feel a bit more positive, but I don't know. Then again, the new Scrubs revival is pretty good.
Yeah,
The episodes I've seen of
Yeah.
that. So
absolutely.
yeah,
The
it
one
won't be
for
the
me
same,
is
but
no,
yeah.
no.
Sorry, was that in?
Oh, I was going to say the other one's Firefly. I don't know if anybody's seen that.
Oh,
they've
yeah.
been teasing that, and
Have they?
Yeah.
They're all coming back now, and this is the fear, isn't it? You're like you think, oh yes, I'd love like new Buffy, new Firefly, new Scrubs, but then there's the fear sinks in of it's
Big
not
time.
going to be what it was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, big time.
I was talking to someone about I think it was about the Scrubs reboot the other day, and like the Scrubs reboot is like pretty good. It's like
it is.
they're just
like it.
older. Whereas like Frasier, they redid Frasier, and that was just a completely different show. Like the original Frasier was just like really clever and like the jokes you sort of you didn't have to be an intellectual, but you sort of there was a bit of like highbrow about it. Whereas like when they rebooted it, it was just a basic American sitcom that like was just boring as hell. So there's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd love just to keep talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but we'll bring it back around to Our Nameless Boy.
Yeah,
And the subject I was going to touch on is, I mean, yeah, I said I grew up with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So the thing that I always say I grew up with on this podcast is music videos. Obviously, before school, after school, Krang and Scuzz and MTV.
Yes.
If people can remember what
P-Rock.
those things are, absolutely. Like, just I think music videos are fantastic. They add a whole new layer to the song. They help connect with the band potentially, especially as an impressionable kid. I remember going like, "Oh, Billy Joe from Green Day looks so cool. I'm going to do my hair like him, and I'm going to wear that. I want to find that top. I'm going to wear that, and all this kind of stuff." So there's music videos are just so passionate about, and I love to talk about the bands I'm interviewing about their music videos, and it saddens me when sometimes I go and look and I go, "Oh well, this band has no music videos. I cannot talk to them because." And I understand it that the cost versus rewards, often isn't there these days, but
they're so difficult to make if you're working a full-time job, your band doesn't have a budget, you don't have access to cameras, which we do through our drummer Will. So difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So it makes me appreciate the bands that do put a bit of effort in. And obviously, we just touched on Little Bird, and obviously, like the 10 hours that Chris has put into creating that
10 plus
minimum.
that piece of art in its own right. But the one that obviously I'm going to talk about now, following on, we were talking about 38 and the video for 38. So I mean, obviously. Listeners, there'll be links, go click through, go watch the video if you haven't watched it already. It just does bring the song to life and give it some new sort of meaning as you watch it. How did you come up with the concept for that video, and how did you go about putting that into practice?
So I think for Leaving Party, the song we released 2 years ago, I think it was, we had an idea of I think it was a clown that was gonna it was just gonna be someone sort of walking around as a normal, like, everyday person doing their like 9 to 5, but happened to be a clown. And I think we ran out of time and just didn't get around to making it. And then when we were talking about 38, it sort of came up again as as an idea, and
Yeah.
it's sort of like, I think obviously the idea is sort of, I guess, like a hate towards immigrants, that sort of vibe. And but obviously we don't want to focus on sort of one particular set of people. So we thought a clown is sort of like, it's obvious that they aren't the same as everyone else in the video, sort of thing. Like they sort of stand out to you. That's probably some bad word in there. I don't mean any offense or anything. But like they it's something obvious that the viewer can sort of grip onto and just be like, oh, why is this clown walking around in a suit? Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just sort of meant to sort of show, maybe, I don't know about hatred, but more like a sort of negative energy towards them. So like you've got the guy putting up the posters, like saying send them back to the circus, and just sort of looks you up and down after, and sort of that sort of awkwardness. And then obviously uh, we sort of wanted to expand it to be like, you've got the people that are meant to be like a ice sort of people arresting clowns, and sort of like those things like that. And you've got the politician as well, who is the sort of what did we call him in the end? I think you wanted to call him
Can't remember.
Nigel
Nigel
Facade,
Facade.
wasn't it? But
Yeah.
we've sort of got that political figure that sort of spreading hate through his words and things like that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's sort of, we just sort of, yeah, is that something? I don't know.
He's absolutely
I'm
nailed it.
completely lost.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh,
No,
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
got
sorry,
it.
go on. I was just gonna say that I remember I remember at points being a little bit apprehensive about using clowns, or a clown to represent some minority or immigrant or group that, that is perhaps to many people considered other, because I was a bit worried that it might come across as being insensitive. But I think the counterpoint to that is it's quite clear that they are representing this other to certain people, and there's no doubt about that from the moment that the video starts. And I think it's also perhaps, I like that it's maybe can seem a little bit far-fetched, and then you think, well, if you weigh up A, B, and C of what you see in the real world, anybody at any point could become demonized. So I quite like that, as well as,
yeah. And also you've got the sort of the turnaround at the end, where the politician sort of figure ends up as a clown as well, and it's sort of like, yeah, it's like we're all people in this world. Like it doesn't matter if like what the color of your skin or what country you were brought up in. We're all human beings, sort of thing, and that's sort of what it's meant to represent, like a coming together of us all being the same, even though this political figure 10 minutes ago was sort of spewing hate. They are still human. Like we're all human. My brain is going wild today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had too much caffeine, I think. Carry on.
I'm worried we've both come across poorly.
No, I think you've come across well in explaining what is a delicate subject, and obviously, with the video as well, I think the video comes across really well. And credit to yourselves for it. Again, like we need to be able to shout this out, of these issues, and because what you walk by is what you accept. So it's absolutely right, and it just works really well as a video. If you strip all of the other stuff away from it, and just purely go, this is actually a really good video. Like, it's something that can hold your attention and watch. So, again, like as a music video lover, really enjoyed it. And Chris, it was you as the clown, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was clown, I was director, I was ice, I was video editor, I was planned everything.
How busy were the streets? Did you get any funny looks?
They were okay because we purposely went to sort of like back streets that we weren't really gonna see people. I know we did have Iain wasn't on the shoot day, but we were the scenes with the posters being put up. Obviously, in the background, we were going to put up a flag on a lamppost because that was very topical at the time. But we thought that's maybe a step too far, so we just sort of draped it over over the fence next to it, sort of thing. But I remember when we were filming that, a young sort of Indian woman and her child came out of their house, and they were both looking at us, and we're just like dressed up as clowns, putting up posters and like Union Jacks and stuff, and we're like, we're not those people. This is meant to be art, but like I felt so like I had to say like we're just. No, we're just making a video. I think I just sort of said hello to them and sort of smiled and that. But I was a little bit worried that they were going to be looking over, thinking, "Oh my god, I don't feel safe," when that is not what we want to do at all.
Yeah. Do you remember though? There was a draft where there was a clown getting like beaten up by a load of people. Imagine if we'd have gone through filming that.
I vaguely remember that. There's going to be like. Or it sort of just gets pushed around a bit,
yeah.
A lot of our videos start as a small idea, grow into an absolutely massive idea, and then have to get pulled back quite a bit. Usually for budget, time, or just number of people. Like, it's literally it's like when you're sort of a small band, you can't just at the drop of a hat get 40 people to help out on your music videos or thing. If you can get 3, that's great. But I think we had one it might have been a different video actually, but we had where I think we're going to need like 40 odd people or something, and I'm just like the week before I'm just like, this isn't gonna. I think that was Mr. Right. Yeah, I was just like, this idea is not going to happen. We cannot get that many people together in such short notice. But yeah, so we've sort of got better at being realistic, I think. Like realizing we're not going to get 40 people to dance in unison or anything.
You've got to think of these things. I mean, you talk about obviously the concept of the clown getting attacked and obviously what that might look like. I mean, we talked about all these of obviously they've been on the podcast a little while ago, and we were talking about the music video A Night Like This, which is the sort of Buffy theme that they have.
Yeah,
and Claire was talking about how at night she was out in her back garden digging like a grave basically, and I said, "What did your neighbours think of this? Like you're out in the garden,
they were like, it's Swindon, nobody cared."
Like, that was the
answer. Do you want a hand, mate?
Oh my god, yeah. No offense, like, Swindonians. But...
Yeah, I listened to that. I was like, Swindon.
Yeah. I remember speaking to her a few weeks after that, and she was like, "I'm still getting mud out of my jacket."
Oh no! Absolutely brilliant, and you touched as well there on these flags that were put up, and I just made me think. I keep seeing them now, and they've just been left to completely fall and disintegrate, and it's almost like the people putting them up had some sort of ulterior motive doing so. That's weird, but so moving on now to the live side of things. So obviously, really interested. You said how 38 went over live initially. You've got some release shows coming up. Again, there'll be details that listeners can click through in the bio, and hopefully there's a show near you and you can go and head along to a show, because I think these songs deserve to be heard live. So, how excited are you to get out and play these songs live?
Very. Little Bird especially. So usually when we write music, we'll sort of write it to a point that it's basically done, and then we'll go and play it live. But Little Bird just clicked so quickly. I think we only wrote it about a month before we went into the studio, but it clicked so quickly, and it was just like this feels like the one that we have to not play live, so that the first time people, like everyone, is hearing it at the same time and getting the same impact. So that we'll obviously be playing next Saturday in Brighton for the first time ever. So I am very excited for that one, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, repeat that message to listeners. If you're near Brighton for that show in particular, get along and hear that song live for the first time. Great opportunity there. And obviously, I said that I'm a geek. The final segment of this podcast is the big sort of geek one for me. And it's something that I just call set list science. So I'm a music video geek, but I'm also a geek when it comes to set lists. Really interested to see what bands are playing, what order they're playing them in. Just often fascinated, and obviously spend a lot of time on like Setlist FM and things like that, looking at these
Oh
things.
yeah.
And I love this question as well when I've got multiple band members on the podcast, because quite often in most bands there's one very passionate setlist person that tries to so it'd be interesting to see if this is the same here. The first of the questions for it is simply, how much importance do you place into the structure of your set lists, and have you got any rules that you tend to follow?
Chris?
I don't know. We sort of, it's sort of. It kind of. I don't know why I just changed sort of to kind of, but it sort of comes together really. Like it changes a little bit, but it sort of has the same general structure. These gigs we're playing next week is the first time we've not played like dress rehearsal at the end for quite a while, because like I always like finishing on like dress rehearsal, that sort of vibe, because it's a really big finish. So it's like you get all the energy, you just get rid of all of your energy at the end, sort of thing, and the crowd goes home happy. This is the first time we've not played that, but not played it at the end. But I think from my point of view, a lot of it is sort of start big, have the sort of, we haven't got many slow ones, but the sort of like slower, quieter ones sort of in the middle, and then finish big as well. That's usually my go-to. I don't know what you think, Iain.
My turn. Me. Okay, right, great. Okay, me.
And just get out his notepad.
I think we found the passionate one.
Okay, here we go. I used to care a lot about things that I do not care about now. So, like never playing 2 songs in a row that are in the same key, or have like really similar timbres, kind of end to start kind of thing. Nowadays, I think I'm, if anything, the more rebellious one, because I'll throw ideas in there that the rest of the band are like, no, what are you doing? Like, I want to play dress rehearsal first and have like a 5-minute long drum intro to it, that kind of thing. I was like, no, no, what are you doing?
I've given over not playing dress rehearsal last for these upcoming shows. I've accepted
that. Through. There's going to come a time, I'm sure, where I'll want to open on Little Bird or not play at all. No, that probably won't happen. But yeah, things like that. So I used to be really kind of this, and this, but now a lot less so. There are obvious, through rehearsals, you find things that work really well that you want to translate into a set. So 38 as an opener, that's been the longest standing part of our set, I think, that we've ever had. And there was a time years ago where I thought this other song will always be our opener, but now we haven't played that in years now. But yeah, that's kind of stuck. And then you've got things,
that's nice with 38 obviously opening, I think, because it starts so softly, and it's just sort of, when people haven't seen us, I remember it was at Sheffield when we played last year, and the sound guy in sound check was just like, because starts really just sort of calm and quiet acoustic, and then just sort of explodes within like 15 seconds sort of thing. And I remember the sound guy just being blown away, like it's literally scared him that,
he said
it came out of nowhere.
Funny.
But yeah, I quite like that for starting for that purpose. But
Mm.
continue.
No, the last thing I was going to say was that kind of the other things that you find work in rehearsals tend to be transitions that work really well, which I think maybe I would never have found previously with the whole no two songs in the same key kind of vibe. But if you got something that rings out and the drums to a song can start over that, then that kind of thing, always keen to kind of work out nice little transitions, but especially if I don't have to talk between songs, because as you'll have witnessed over the last 37 minutes, it's not my strong suit.
This is probably the most I've heard you speak, to be honest. You've been on firing on all cylinders.
Well, I think it's you've been fantastic, Ian. It really has been a fascinating podcast, and obviously the setlist science, the final little portion of it or question of it that I added in a little while ago when the internet blew up with the whole peekaboo for adults thing is just a generic question. It's encores, either for yourselves as with the band, or if you're a fan attending a show, yes or no encores. What are your thoughts?
If I'm attending a show, I say no because I'm usually quite tired by the end. Like if the shows are like we're in well, Ian's 40 now, but like I'm mid 30s and like I want to go to bed. Like if the gig's supposed to finish at like 10:30, then great, I can be home in bed by 11. Like I don't want another 3 songs. Like just play them all in the same time. Oh, as far as playing them though, we got asked to play an encore for the very first time at our headline show in Bristol last year, which took us completely by surprise because we don't play encores. We hadn't practiced any other songs.
We don't rehearse any other songs.
So it was literally like everyone was calling for an encore, and a lot of them are sort of like friends and things like that. Like I think, as we mentioned, Bitter Kisses earlier, they were there shouting for an encore. I think it was Josh that made the decision on what we'd play because we were like, we've not really practiced anything else. We can probably play Safe Bet or Thorns, maybe. Ewan couldn't remember Safe Bet, but I don't think any of us could remember Thorns at the time. So Safe Bet it was. But yeah, it was nice. It was, no one really cared that it was a bit sloppy.
No, I mean when they're spontaneous like that, that's when I'm a fan of encores. I mean, maybe that's where you need to practice as a band, the old Buffy the Vampire Slayer theme song. That's where you just break that out if you get a spontaneous encore opportunity. But I'm the same as you, Chris, in the sense of I'm at an age now where it sort of gets past sort of 10 o'clock and I'm thinking, come and wrap us up, guys. I want to go to bed now.
Keep checking the time, see like, oh, they can't have too much longer left.
Yeah.
What about you, Ian?
Nah, I'm all right for them. Just play the hits. I'm happy. Don't know.
I suppose the other side, if you think about it even more, is when bands are playing encores, they're then sort of forced to put their biggest songs at the end, which like they may want to do anyway. But like I've seen who was it we saw the other year? Was it Taking Back Sunday we saw, and they played like 5 or 6 bangers in the first sort of half hour of their set, and it's just like how can they go from here? But if you're stuck to playing those songs right at the end, then you've sort of got a set of songs for some people that aren't huge fans of the bands as well. Like you might only know 1 or 2 songs, and you've sort of come to see the support or something, and you're watching an hour and a half set just to watch the last song, and really you just want to leave.
Yeah, which is obviously the reason why you'd leave that song there last, wouldn't you? But
that's a fair point. Yeah,
It was. I saw the Killers and they opened with Mr. Brightside. I mean, obviously,
I would do that. Yes,
you're not going to leave the Killers after Mr. Brightside. To be fair, are you?
Watch the world burn.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It was so surreal. They played with the lights on as well. It was the first song. They had the arena lights on. Played Mr. Brightside, and then the lights went down. They played like the proper show. You what?
That's weird. See, I saw I think it was Slam Dunk a few years ago. I saw I don't know if you know Gogol Bordello.
Oh yeah.
They did that song like "Start Wearing Purple." They played that about second or third in their set. I think they were only doing like half an hour or 40 minutes something, but they played it like very early in the set, and after they played it, everyone just went. And like
Oh,
it's because that's the song that people know, so like everyone just left after it. So that was a bit bad. But another one I did see that did it well. I saw Kate Nash, just saying, love Kate Nash.
Yeah.
She is incredible. I love Kate Nash so much. Anyway, I saw her in Bristol. Kate Nash, if you want us to support you, we will. Different vibe, but yeah, I saw Kate Nash, and I think her like intro song was Foundations. I think she had it as like an intro song, or like they started playing it at the very beginning of their set, and then went into something completely different. So they just sort of like edged the whole crowd to hear that song first. But then she still played it later, and it was amazing. But I quite liked that they just sort of
Mm.
teased you with it, like, oh my god, she's playing this so early. No, she's not. No, you still
Mm.
gotta wait. Maybe we'll
Uh,
do that. We'll play the first verse of Little Bird and then go into 38.
and then not play Little Bird later on, or just leave it there. Yes, Chris, I
Just the
like your thinking.
No.
Oh, no, I have actually. Yeah, you remind me. I've seen a couple of bands. I think Ash and the Subways. I've seen both of them
Oh
play
yeah.
their biggest hits first and last. They've
And
just
last, yeah,
played
we
it
just did
Oh
twice
that.
yeah.
over. Like, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, go on, go Badillo there. I mean, that's the. They've been around long enough. They should. A festival is probably not where you do that. You know, at your own show
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
risk it maybe,
Exactly.
but a festival when there's other
Yeah.
bands playing, like leave that here. But you know,
Yeah, I did
um,
think that was a bit weird. Like most people, like I was there to see them because I know that song. Like I don't really know any of their. I've seen them before, and they're incredible live, but I don't really know any of their other songs. So like everyone else left after the song that they knew. So
Yeah, not good, not good. But what has been good, gentlemen, is this podcast. So thank you both, obviously,
thank you.
so much for coming on and discussing all of this. You know, listeners absolutely need to check out Thorns, the videos that we've talked about, and of course, pop along to a show. You know, they can follow you on social media. You're on Instagram at Our Nameless Boy UK and Facebook at Our Nameless Boy. So listeners, go follow the band, find a show you can go to, and obviously do so. So that's my final message. But final message I always give to the guests. So how would you like to wrap up the podcast?
Well, first off, I was just going to drop in. Obviously, it's Brighton and Southampton next weekend, and then Bristol in May. But there's also a Cardiff show, which I think is being announced next week. But I'm just going to drop that in just in case people go straight on there and think, oh, they're not playing Cardiff. I'm not interested in that band anymore. But the Cardiff is very soon being announced.
And if this podcast comes out in 2 weeks' time, then we had a really great time playing Brighton and Southampton. We can't wait to come back and look forward to our EP release show on the 15th of May at the Croft.
Yeah.
And then the Cardiff show.
With Strayers. Oh, we love Strayers.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see them.
It's gonna be so
and Headway as well.
Good. It's going to be so
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Well, the podcast will be out before then, so listeners obviously do check out any of these shows if you live near any of the fantastic places that you've just heard mentioned.
Thank you.
And if not, hopefully, you know, in the future, if you follow the band on social media, you'll have a show come close to you at some point. But yeah, no, thank you, Chris and Ian, so much for your time today.
No, thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having
appreciate it.
us.
It's been great fun. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. I really do hope you enjoyed that chat there with Our Nameless Boy. Do make sure you check out their new EP, Thorns, out this April. And of course, follow the band across social media to stay up to date with everything coming from them. You can also stay up to date with Full Pelt. We're on Facebook at Full Pelt and on Twitter and Instagram at Full Pelt Music. Finally, from me, if you would, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, wherever you're watching or listening, because we'll be back very soon with another episode of the Discover New Music podcast.